I'm Anthony Forrest, the president of Steel Cod, and I'm here with John Beresford, our VP of Sales, ready to discuss all things appliances. All right, John, this is a really interesting conversation to have because, color in appliances is a really interesting dichotomy in the industry because you go to trade shows, you look at magazines, you look at marketings, it's color, 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 all this great stuff. Even
Mhm.
floor a couple of things just to kind of mix up the floor so it's not all stainless. But when it comes to color appliances for salespeople, they couldn't walk past those color appliances any faster. It should just be a
Yeah.
sheet of ice because they naturally have that. Well, it's all well and good for everyone to talk color, but it all lands on me to be like, okay, well, no, it's not going to scratch. You're not going to have issues with that. You're thinking replacement business. You're thinking down the road, they buy this suite. You think about all the issues that come with color or historically have come with color. And it makes you naturally be like, well, let's just stick with stainless. And then I don't even have to worry about these things. But it's
Mhm.
been an onslaught. It hasn't been a short term trend. We've seen more color over the last several years. So as a salesperson, should I be a little more open to this or should I remain cautious?
I mean, I think you have to, right? Because you can't ignore it, at least not right now, because it is everywhere to your point, right? Every brand is launching something. It's wild. I mean, we have new finishes and new colors and new collections. I mean, from everybody, people that you never thought were going to get in the game are in the game. And on the surface, it's going to feel like, all right, well, this is where the industry is going for good now. But we've seen this before, right? And let's get honest about one thing right off the top. Like this didn't just happen organically, right? It's being pushed. But what's unique about it is that it's getting pushed from both sides, right? Which is manufacturers have pushed super hard into this, but customers are responding to it. So now with that, it really looks like a movement. So the question is, really what part of this is real and what part of this is temporary? Right? We have to kind of figure out where that is, where that line is. And look, let's be honest. I mean, color is absolutely growing, like we talked about. I mean, that part is super real. That's not even part of the equation anymore. Right? So it's not going away next year. It's not this short blip, but it also doesn't mean that it's permanent, right? And it definitely doesn't mean that everything that you're seeing right now in today's market is going to last. And I mean, quite honestly, we know that it's not. So, what you're looking at is really two things happening at the same time here. We have real demand and we have heavy manufacturer push. And if you don't separate those two things, you'll assume that really all of this is stable when really it's not.
So what's interesting about this is when you say demand, I wonder how much of that demand is really consumer demand or kind of influencer demand. A designer
Mm.
loves to create, from a palette, a new kitchen, and they're tired of creating the same thing over and over. And the stainless steel can get old, and now they have this opportunity to have something unique, make their final product stand out. So
Yeah.
is this kind of the natural evolution of what's happening from the influencer community?
I mean, I guess so. But look, I mean, think about this, right? I mean, none of this is new. We've been down this road God knows how many times. I mean, we've actually seen this exact pattern before. Remember Bisque? I mean, Bisque was all the rage, right? Right before we got into it. Almond, that was another finish that was everywhere. And then stainless took everything over, right? And at the time, every one of those things when they hit felt permanent. And it really hasn't changed, right? Finishes expanded and then they narrow. And really the only difference now is probably speed. So just because something is growing doesn't mean it's staying. And that's the assumption that I feel like a lot of people are making right now.
So an interesting thing you're talking about, the other side of this is manufacturers pushing this. And I'm sure it's a mixed bag of reactions inside the manufacturer offices of excitement
Mhm.
about this and being terrified of this from the engineering side and the factory floor and what they're doing here. So why are we seeing the brands kind of jumping into this and do you think that they're jumping into this kind of in the quote unquote right way?
So to me, right, and this just might be my crazy perspective on the whole thing, but to me, I think it's just the easiest way to create something new, right? I mean,
Good.
because if you think about it, there's no engineering change behind it, there's no platform investment, there's no performance improvement required, right? You're taking the same product, you're changing the finish, and now you developed a new story, right? And to a manufacturer, that's pretty powerful because visually it can actually feel like innovation, right? And we know that manufacturers aren't shy when it comes to just, you know, calling things that have been out in the market forever innovation. So under the surface, nothing has changed, right? So this is not just design evolution, right? To me, I think this is purposeful strategy, right? It's a fast way to create differentiation, which they're always after, to create attention for themselves, which they're always after, and to generate some sort of demand, right? Without having to rebuild products. So if I'm right, I think that it's pretty smart. But you have to be prepared for the swing, right? And the change in attention or the drop in attention or the ebbs and flows that come along with a strategy like that.
I mean, it sounds like you're bullish on color here, and that the design community is into it, and the manufacturers are into it. So, do you think that customers should be kind of, diving in? That they go for it?
Yeah, I think listen, I think there's some momentum on the customer side. I think that part of it is real. Because I think that if you look at the evolution of kitchens, I think kitchens have changed, right? Because I've I don't think that they're necessarily appliance first anymore. I think that they've gone almost fully design first, because people are thinking much more about cohesion and their own personal identities and really how their space feels or speaks to them on a daily basis, right? Appliances are no longer just tools anymore. They can actually be part of the visual language of the entire space. So color gives people something that they didn't have before, which is much more control over their space, right? Because now they can make the appliance part of the overall design instead of having to work around it, and that's why it's working. And it's not because it's new, it's because it really fits how people are thinking now. And I just want to emphasize that word now, right? I mean, that's the big part of this.
Right, which gets to my next question, which is, of course, the customer's like, well, I'm not changing out appliances every year, and as the trends are probably going to move faster than the appliances need replacing. So if a customer looks squarely at the appliance salesperson and says, okay, I see what you're saying. There's a great appliances. Generally, we're talking, mid-tier to premium appliances when we're talking these sorts of colors and finishes. They're going to ask the
Mhm.
question of, so what's going to last here, or what am I going to regret?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to know, right? At least not completely. And that's the truth that nobody wants to talk about during the sales process, right? Because it's kind of deflating. Look, some of the finishes that are out there right now will stick definitively. And the vast majority of the ones that are out there right now will not. And that's just how it's always worked. And I don't see anything that's going to change that pattern, right? I mean, what's popular at the peak is not what's going to survive long term, because once the market gets flooded like it is right now, things are going to start to fall off, right? And because colors are going to get discontinued and programs are going to get trimmed out and brands are going to start pulling back a little bit. So I think the real mistake that you can have here is what I'm seeing everywhere right now must be stable, right? Because everybody's looking for it. And that's not how this ever really has played out. I mean, because trends expand very fast, right? But as fast as they expand, they tend to narrow even quicker than that.
All right, so let's help the salespeople be what can they be confident in answering that question?
Like in terms of when does color make sense for
Yeah, yeah,
somebody?
yeah, yeah. When would that make sense? So if they ask you squarely, they're like, I don't know, a little risky with the color, but how can you help them be more confident in this decision because it makes sense for their project?
Yeah, man, what a great question, because I mean, this gets really out of a salesperson's comfort zone, right? Because the vast majority of us don't pick out color in our own lives, right? I mean, so it is a little bit uncomfortable, but so I would say that the easiest way to do it is, just make sure the decision is intentional and they're not being reactive in any way, right? So if they say, "Oh, I like this blue," mm, you got to be careful, right? It works Color works, especially with appliances, when the entire kitchen is designed around it, right? When it's part of an entire system. when the brand themselves have committed to it, right? Not just launched a, hey, let's hope they like this one. So when there's consistency across categories, those types of things, I think that's more when it could potentially hold up or you have the best chance of it to. Because now it's really it's not a moment, right? It's more, or it can be framed out more as a direction. And I think that that becomes a completely different decision for the consumer, and that's one that you can help guide. Where you start to see it across categories and a full commitment from a brand, I think it's very safe to recommend at that point. But when you say, here's an off color range and you don't really see it anywhere else on the showroom floor or anything like that, it's a little bit too risky. Those are probably the ones that are going to drop off before anything else.
All right, so let's start with the risky, in terms of a customer that is, pretty confident about going with color, and then you get customers who are overconfident going with color, that they've completely, drank the Kool-Aid on terms of they've seen the pictures of the magazines. They're like, "I want that in my kitchen." How do
Mm.
you kind of properly set their expectations up for, where color might go wrong over the long term?
Yeah. Like we talked about, so the easy ones to point out is when it's reactive, right? I mean, brands are going to add color because their competitors did. And that's going to be pretty easy to point out, right? There's no long term plan, there's no consistency, there's no support across the line or anything like that. So ultimately, you end up with mismatches. But to answer your question, um, you know, what you really have to be careful about is longevity. I think this is the part that gets ignored more often than not because everybody's kind of caught up in the moment. Appliances are not short cycle purchases, right? You're not swapping these out every couple of years to your point, and you're not easily matching them later, if at all. So when you do choose a color, you're not choosing how it works today. Okay. You're really, quite honestly, you're really locking into a moment. And, you know, the appliance will outlast that moment. And that's the real risk here, and that's what you have to be cognizant of. Don't treat color like a feature if you're a salesperson, right? So like the whole like it comes in blue and red and green, you're really steering that discussion into the wrong path, right? You want to make sure that you're having a discussion about longevity and replacement and how it integrates across the kitchen and what happens 5 years from now. So the decision gets um made emotionally without any context if you don't take it there, right? And when that happens, then the risks involved never fully get understood.
So I have a question in terms of colors kind of from brand to brand. And we're not going to extend this podcast out for 3 hours and talk about how each brand handles colors
Mhm.
because it'll change by the
Yeah.
end of the podcast. But each brand does handle colors differently. And I'm wondering to gain confidence in how the brand does it, what sorts of questions would you recommend salespeople ask their rep for this brand to help them build confidence in it in terms of the support side of things, in terms of the aesthetic side and that part of the warranty, the appliance gets pushed into place and the belt buckle of the plumber who is pushing the range back into place scratches this custom color, or how they're going to support the colors that have just came out this year, but the appliances are going to last longer than that. So what sorts of questions were like, John, you're now in the room with the rep for brand X to be like, okay, I would love to have as much confidence as color as you. What sorts of questions would you ask, pepper them with to make sure that you're landing in the right place?
God, it's really, really tough because quite frankly, you're not going to get the answers that you're hoping for, right? Because the real answer is nobody knows. But the one that would get you closest to a question like that, and it's a really fair question. I mean, it's one that I had to ask all the time because it's like, am I going to floor this thing and then 3 months later it's going to be end of line and
Right.
I've got people that are coming back for the matching dishwasher that I don't have anymore. So it's a really good, the best you can do if you want to try to pin them against the wall to get the best answer possible is first of all, you want to check for yourself, right? Be your own advocate there and just check to make sure that it's a full design commitment, right? If they offer everything, and they offer everything in a singular color, then there's a pretty good chance that it's going to stick around for a while. What's a while? Nobody knows, right? Um, and then you can go and reinforce that and just be like, listen, I noticed you're doing this across all categories, which is great. Do you have a commitment in mind for something like this, because the truth is they would never be able to answer that honestly, right? Because they have to go with trend, right? If all of a sudden the design community shifts and they're saying, hey, we're going towards plum, well, then if this manufacturer is still going after blue or green or whatever, well, then, they're not following the trend. And I mean, it's called a trend for a reason, and you do have to keep up with them. So the best you can really do is you can ask that question, and you want to make sure that it's across all of their offerings as long as it's represented, then you might have a shot at it. But man, is it a really tough question, or a really tough thing to for anybody really to commit to honestly.
So that said, to kind of put this all together, so what should the salespeople, sales reps really be doing differently in terms of how they talk about color, think about color, present the color on the floor, that they're ultimately not going to be the ones who get burned.
Yeah. The big one is the one that I mentioned already, is stop talking like it's any other feature. Okay. You have to slow this conversation down. Don't speed it up and try to get past it. I know there's a lot of people that are uncomfortable with the color conversation, so they do try to get past it as fast as they can. Like taking your medicine when you have a fever as a kid, you just kind of shoot it real quick, make the face and move on with your day. You can't, you really, you can't speed this up. In fact, I would ask the customer that same question too, the same one that I would ask a rep. I'd say, listen, is this a full design commitment in your home, right? Or is this just something that you like right now, right? How long are you planning to live with this? Are you thinking about replacing pieces or adding pieces later on down the line? Because the second you introduce time into the decision-making process, that conversation is going to change entirely for you, because now it's not what looks good today and what did you fall in love with my floor. It's what's going to hold up over time. And that's really where the real decision is going to lie. And that's how you can protect yourself and your customer.
All right, John, let's put it all together. What would you say is the takeaway for this color isn't going away episode?
So color is not going away. Okay, definitively, it's not. But there'll be different iterations of it always, just like there is right now. It is going to keep growing. Okay, but remember the word trend. It's always a trend, and trend is a cycle. So some colors will, basically mature and become staples, and the vast majority of them are going to come and go. So the real question is not going to be, you know, should I do color? It's, am I choosing something that will still make sense for me later? I think that is really where you need to get um that question lined up with the customer that's in front of you to make sure that it's a good choice, because color isn't the problem, right? The assumption of permanence is really going to be the problem here, right? Color is definitely growing for a reason, but growth doesn't mean permanence. And that's the part that most people aren't thinking about right now, which is can be really troubling.
We drop a new episode every day of the week, including weekends. Don't forget to rate and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.